We go live in 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Hello.
My fiance is ugly, very dark skinned, and very fat. It's rude to laugh. I'm repulsed by her. I will soon be married to her. It's a forced and arranged marriage. If I cancel the marriage, then my parents will die, as they have threatened me about this. Give me some tips to live with that ugly beast. I am a male from India. I'll be married soon, as I got engaged to this woman who is 31 years old, very fat, very dark skinned, and ugly AF. I have to confess that I'm ugly as well, and not too well off financially. And that's why I'm being forced to marry this ugly woman. If I was a rich or financially well off, I could have married a decent looking girl. Also, after marriage, I don't want to divorce her, as divorce is costly, and instead of spending money on a divorce lawyer, I would rather use that money on a hot escort. I will not be having kids, since our kids will be butt ugly, as we both are ugly AF. I feel like we need to buy an island and send this man to go live on his own on this isolated island, on top of everyone else that I'm about to send over there. What is this island called? Not Worthy Island.
I just at the end of the day, I really am curious as to how this poor woman is treated, and the fact that he's like, I'm gonna go get money to get an escort or something, is, if he's also, I just need to know more. I'm gonna leave it at that. I just need to know more, and I also feel very, very bad for this woman, because if he's talking about her to this bad of an extent, then that means that he is probably telling her probably some of this to her face, and nobody deserves that. Somebody will think that everyone has a person that will think that they are beautiful. That's just how it is in life. Not everyone is going to be everyone's cup of tea. But I don't think it's fair to treat someone badly. Granted, I am assuming that that's what's happening, but when you're going on the internet blasting someone like that, there's some of that pouring into your real life.
This man isn't acting as a man at all. He's acting as a literal child.
Yeah.
Child. I think it's okay for you to approach your parents and say, hey, mom and dad, I'm just really not attracted to this woman. Could we please find someone else?
Mm-hmm.
The verbiage he is using, I don't know. I don't know what his expectations are.
Well, and it's the verbiage that makes me believe that she's being probably verbally abused in real life, because it's the choice of words basically that he's choosing to go with.
Yeah, it makes me really concerned, because I know there's not a lot of laws that can protect women in India, especially in the cases of domestic violence. So, for her sake, I hope she can run from this man. Because he doesn't seem like a good man at all.
I hope that he does have to pay for a divorce lawyer, and I hope that it takes all of his money.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it works in that way over there. Unfortunately.
Well, I hope it anyways.
I don't know. It's just a really, really sad scenario. I don't know.
No, it is really sad. But maybe it will end up that they don't end up actually marrying each other. Maybe it just won't happen, and then she'll find someone who thinks that she's the most beautiful lady in the entire world, because that's what she deserves.
Also, I just want to know, what is he expecting from a woman? He's saying himself, he's not attractive, he's not financially well off. These are all things,
that someone wants.
Yeah, I know in India, it is a lot of arranged marriage, or, even if it's they can go, to matchmakers and stuff, and they're all going to look at the same categories. They're trying to find suitable partners for one another. What is he expecting?
Yeah. No, I agree.
And has he even talked to her? A lot of attraction can come just from speaking with someone and their personality.
And I think you can build it. Even if you don't find someone necessary. I mean, granted, it should never be forced. That's not what I'm saying. But in the scenario where it is kind of being forced, you can build attraction if you can find like some sort of common ground to go off of, in my opinion. Like,
and the thing is, if they get married, he's gonna shove all that anger towards her.
and
Like,
resentment.
and where she had just as little of choice to it as him. If anything, I wish that he would be honest with her and say, "Hey, I'm not attracted to you. However, like I know that we still have to get married. Perhaps we can try being friends within this marriage and
Go
see."
off of that.
Yep. And let that be the first stepping stone.
Yeah, he doesn't really sound like he's trying to even like build a friendship, and that's like where I find an issue also. But
Yeah, he's not trying whatsoever.
he's like, I'm just gonna go out and find someone once we're married, which is not a good mindset.
Also, is your parents not gonna die if they find out like you're going to see an escort? Like, is that, I'm pretty sure that's taboo as well in your culture, sir.
I agree.
Guilty.
Guilty as charged. You are the asshole, sir.
The biggest one. You're getting sent on a private island.
The not worthy island. Is it normal for my best friend's 19-year-old female boyfriend, 20-year-old male, to kiss his mother on the lips? Asking for a friend. Recently, my friend has told me that her boyfriend kisses his mom on the lips when they greet each other, and sometimes just out of the blue. His mom even goes as far as to say, "Give me some sugar," to him to give her a smooch. Now, the BF and his family are from the South, so we don't know if it's a custom there or not. In this case, what should she do? Should she talk to him about it or leave it alone? It seems to be bothering her, but she doesn't want to make it an issue and possibly insult him in the process. All advice is welcome. That's not normal.
Now, who are we to say what
Okay.
is normal or not normal? Look, I don't think these things like just happen out of nowhere. I'm gonna guess this has been going on since he was a
Childhood.
baby,
Yeah.
and it just never stopped. I know it's more common in children. And do I wish that we wouldn't do this per se, especially to kids? Yes, I do. Is it weird? Yes. But did she say she had a conversation?
No, she's trying to figure out how to have a conversation. So she's asking for like
Well,
advice, basically.
that's good. She should have a conversation.
It says she doesn't want to make it an issue and possibly insult him in the process. So how should she talk to him about it, or leave it, or should she leave it alone, basically?
Oh, I see. She would.
So like, it's saying what should she do? Should she leave it alone? And if she shouldn't leave it alone, how should she proceed?
If it was me, I just let it go. I'm not threatened by mom. I'm like, if it went there, like
it went there,
I'm out, sort of a thing. I don't know. I think it's okay. Personally, like, it's not gonna be. Will I think it's a little odd? Yes, but let me think. Because what if I have children and those children are witnessing?
It's a hard line, right? Because like,
weird. I know.
I think honestly, for a lot of people, when they grow up in that scenario where the family is very lovey, kissy, affectionate, that's a little bit crossing the line, probably. Most of the time when the kid gets to like 12 and older or so, the kid is like, "No, mom, I don't want to do that anymore. You're embarrassing me. Please stop."
That's typically.
But the fact that he's 20 years old and does this in front of his girlfriend, who I'm sure he then goes and kisses, I can see why she might find it a little odd. Honestly, how to proceed with that is I would kind of try to figure out the root of it. Like, have you been doing this your whole life? When did this start? Is this like something that you do just to make your mom comfortable, kind of thing? Like, I would try to ask questions, like probing questions. Like, I want to know more, but like you have to do it in a non-insulting way is what she's trying to do. And she also doesn't want to make it a problem. Granted, you guys are very young, so like if this is a little bit of a red flag to you, maybe try to nip it in the butt before it goes any further.
Yeah, if there's like more mama boy traits in this one.
Yeah. Like,
let's practice. Okay.
Practice what?
I'm the guy in this scenario.
I would say the questions I already asked though.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so when did this start?
I don't know. We've always done it.
Are you comfortable with it?
Yeah, it's my mom.
I can't take you seriously.
Is it my voice?
Yeah.
Is that masculine enough?
No, it's just it was the attitude maybe with the masculine voice.
I was trying to exude.
I know.
Sorry, and he might just be like a very lovely person. I'm sorry. I'm stereotyping right now.
No, it's just cool. It's not, I don't even think you're stereotyping. I think it's just a very out there situation that honestly this day and time, I don't think we hear as much or see and witness as much of that as we used to when we were growing up. When we were growing up, I feel like it was more normal. Now, with generation X, Y, Z, whatever the heck it is, I feel like they make everything something. And I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just saying like more things they're more blunt, basically. That generation is a lot more blunt. So when they don't want to do something, they're like, no.
25 female, boyfriend, 25 male, wants to start a business, and I'm not sure if I support him. My boyfriend just went through a financial crisis, which we have since worked out. The day it happened, he got advice from a friend that they decided to start a flooring company together. Oh, that's actually kind of cute. My boyfriend is really talented at flooring, so he would do the labor and his friend would handle the business aspect. The issue for me is that 1, don't trust friend. 2, we have known him for less than 6 months. 3, the friend tells many stories of the businesses he had in his home country and the millions they earned, but we've never seen proof. 4, I'm highly confident that my boyfriend could do this on his own or with my help, but he refuses to work with me. I had my own business that was pretty successful, but it became nearly full-time on top of my full-time job, so I closed it. I want to support him and see him succeed, but I trust my gut feeling about this guy and having a hard time navigating this. Is starting a business with someone you don't know really well a good idea? How do I find compromise? How do I seem more supportive and less like I'm trying to get him to not start a business? I just want him to think this through. We have talked about our 5-year plan and we want to get married. It feels like he's not considering what could go wrong and how it'll affect our future. I don't want to control him. I just want to be a part of decisions that affect the both of us.
I think my first thought, and maybe this isn't where my head should go, but if you almost had your own business that was going full time, why didn't you quit your full-time job?
I agree. So you're working 80 hours a week?
So, but why wouldn't you continue with your job if it was booming so much?
Mm-hmm.
That seems sketchy in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm wrong for focusing on that part, but a part of me feels like maybe he doesn't trust her because you had your own business, it was doing really well, and then you gave up on it. So what would you do when his business starts doing well if you're helping him and you were the reason a part of the reason that he was doing so well? Would you then give up on that to focus on your main job? Like, why is your main job coming before your business that could start a whole different life for you? It doesn't add up in my opinion. So maybe he's lenient on that because of said scenario. Mm. Going back to the other part though, I think that for me, like if my partner's making a decision like that and going into business with somebody, I would just be brave enough to have that conversation with them and sit them down and be like, hey, these are the reasons I don't trust X, like blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. You obviously don't have to listen to me. You're your own person. But if you guys are in it for the long haul, you've talked about your 5-year plan, you've talked about marriage and stuff. Why aren't you communicating? Like it's a simple conversation. Like you can, if you're in a relationship like that, I feel like you should be able to have that safe place to have that kind of conversation, to be like, I don't know if this is the best decision for the future that we want, and here's why.
I think it's great to mention your concerns to a partner in a factual way, versus just saying, I have a feeling and therefore this isn't a good person to do business with.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, now if this man is saying, or a woman, I don't know if they said a gender, but if this individual is saying, oh, I have a lot of successful businesses, yet perhaps like there's no indicator, or perhaps this person has a lot of time on their hand, or like his wealth isn't being showcased if he has $1 million businesses. I think that's the number they threw out.
Yeah.
Like,
Show
I can
me a
see the
portfolio.
concern. Yeah.
Show
Why
me your
can't,
stuff.
instead of just saying to him, don't work with him, ask your boyfriend to talk with his friend and see if there's any credibility to his story. And then let your boyfriend come to that conclusion. Because the thing is, if you just come in and start saying, I have this feeling, therefore you must follow this feeling, it comes off very controlling.
And you're like bulldozing the decision.
Plus he could get contracts in place to help protect them if that's like a concern of yours, like, so he can discuss it with a lawyer. And at the end of the day, like, have him start the business, and if it fails, he can start a new one. Like, sometimes there's so much growth in failure. And it's courageous to start your own business. The first one might not make it, but perhaps the second one will. And perhaps you guys can talk about what his concerns are with you joining forces, and hear him out from there.
No, I completely agree. I think it's best to communicate, though, more than anything. Just communicate with your partner. Like, I'm sorry, if you're the person that I want to marry and be with and do these things with, and it's eventually going to affect our financial situation together, or our kids, or our future, or something, like, I would voice my concerns before it's too far gone. You know, like, just say what you need to say and get it out there. But in the way that you said, though, not to like bulldoze the decision or anything like that, but to like put your stuff out there in a way that makes sense and is respectful.
But at the end of the day, it's his life. You have to let him come to that decision. And you can decide to stay in the relationship and support him, or you can decide to leave.
Yeah, because also at the end of the day, he should be making the best decision for you and your family, or him and his family, I mean, like, and you are his family. So it would make sense if he made a decision that he thought was best and he followed his gut as well. And from that point, you guys just kind of have to trust each other.
Correct. And perhaps I would have, and I'm just going to preface by saying I would have different advice if they were married.
Yeah.
That is or if they have children.
Yeah. No,
like
100%.
my advice would be completely different. But because this is a boyfriend-girlfriend scenario and I didn't hear kids involved,
no, this
would be my advice. This is the time to explore and take risks.
Yeah. Well, and it's the time to be blunt, because like if you're gonna start the things, like, have a conversation about it.
Yep.
Like, before anything.
Because it only gets more complicated.
How do I, 25 female, make sure my boyfriend, 41 male, does not propose to me on Valentine's Day? For context, this is my first relationship. On the other hand, my boyfriend has been married and has 2 kids with that ex-wife. We are coming up on being together for 2 months. He's been taking things really fast. He told me he loved me 8 days after he asked me to be his girlfriend. I brushed it off because I didn't know what to say. He said it a couple of times more over text, and I didn't acknowledge it because usually it was in combination with another message. The next time he said it in person and we had a conversation about it, I told him saying I love you after 8 days is really fast. I'm scared you're going to propose to me or something. He acknowledged that he was taking things fast and said he'd hold off on saying that he loves me for now. Then he said, I'd ask your parents' permission before I propose to you. I think implying that my parents wouldn't give their blessing so soon and they would warn me if he decided to do it anyway. This was comforting at the time, but as I've gotten to know him better, he's definitely a wild card. It wouldn't be out of character for him to do something as crazy as proposing to me after only 2 months, despite our previous conversation. I just want to make sure he doesn't ask me in the first place because I wouldn't know how to react if he did. Should I have another conversation with him about it before Wednesday, or is that weird? Please help. Thanks in advance.
I wish that people would also give, like, what do you like about him?
What do you mean? Like to know why you're with him in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it. It's her first relationship. She's 25 years old and this is her first relationship. He's 41.
That makes me a little uncomfortable. That makes me actually very uncomfortable. I know, like, we shouldn't overly care about age gap relationships, but it is, for me, it is information that I'm going to, like, consider when we're hearing the story. Perhaps I would be more okay if it was a 25-year-old that had a little bit more of a history versus a 25-year-old, like, this is going to be her first relationship. And he's 45, 41. He has a lot more life experience.
When he's been married.
And he's moving this quickly. I don't know. It just really concerns me. Something feels icky about it.
I think it's called love bombing when someone does something like that though. Like it's like the quick movement. Granted, that's not all the details that go into it. I could be using that term completely wrong. But I think,
has she even met the kids yet?
Yeah, I don't know. See, for me, like, also for him, it's not a good idea to ask someone to marry them without her getting to know your kids, making sure your kids like that person. Your kids have to be a part of their lives consistently. So you need to make sure that the kids are also, not that the kids have to necessarily like give their go ahead, but like the kids should at least have met the person. You need to make sure they at least like her in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, it's kind of, you need to see, like, is it a good fit?
Yeah, and she's never had a relationship, so to give her kids in marriage and her first one, she might not want that or be ready for it. Which she's saying she's not ready for it. She knows that. I guess like my biggest thing is like, if you're this stressed out about somebody proposing to you on Valentine's Day and like, you know, he's a wild card and stuff, maybe this isn't like a good relationship for you because you don't know what's going to happen and you sound like somebody who needs more solid ground to go off of.
Yeah, I guess I want to know, like, why are you staying? Like, what is this man someone you see yourself dating for a long time, or someone you see yourself marrying one day? Do you see yourself having kids, or
do you see yourself with him in the future, or is this just kind of for fun because it's your first relationship?
Yeah, and if that's, perhaps maybe end it. I don't know. I that's what I'm saying. Like, I wish I could know a little more information of like better qualities about this person. Like, I could tell, like, he likes you a lot. However, also him moving this quickly, I don't know, it's concerning to me, on top of his age and her age, and I'm not hearing like positive things.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, what do I do? How do I make sure he's moving really quick? That kind of thing. Like, it's not like, oh, I think I have the potential to love him, but it's too soon to tell. It's, he's moving too quickly for me. I don't want him to propose to me, even though I told him not to. I think he might still do it. Clearly, that's not, I don't like that of your boundaries.
Correct. Either. He's not respecting your boundary either. There's a lot of power play here. I don't know. It makes me really uncomfortable. Stay safe, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. I would maybe talk to a therapist.
Talk to your mom. If you have or some role model in your life. someone who cares about you. Talk to them. My girlfriend, 22 female, keeps trying to control how I, 22 male, look. So a little background. We have been dating for 4 years now. We broke off for a brief period of 3 months as my academics and my job got too much for us to manage our relationship. During this period, she dated another guy for a month, and then we got back together. Ever since we've been back, she's been trying to change the way I look. I used to always have a beard, and she never had an issue with it. Now she points it out as soon as I grow one out and insists I clean shaven at all times. That guy she was with didn't have any beard. If I send her a picture with beard instead of a compliment, she says, would have looked better without the beard. Similar things have been happening when it comes to fashion. I somehow feel like she keeps trying to dress me up like that guy. Now she generally wants me to change how I keep myself, or is it because of that guy, or what it is? I can't really wrap my head around it. I have talked to her about this. She gets defensive, straight up, denies it, says I'm overthinking, and I'm the problem. This happened thrice in the previous month and irritates the hell out of me. When I say I like my beard, she says it's such a small thing. Why can't you just shave it for your partner? P.S. If she wears an outfit and I don't give at least 3 compliments, we fight and she feels ugly all night and I get blamed the next morning too. How do I approach this? How do I fix this with her?
This is one of those times where I wish there was more context, and all of these posts, unfortunately, I lost, so I don't have like the background on them to see if there was more comments or anything like that. But why did her and this other guy only date for a month? And
why'd you take her back?
Why'd you take her back? And I think for me, like, if it was a scenario where you came back and you were like, hey, I want to work on things. And she was like, okay, let me go break up with this guy and then we can fix things. Like, I guess like my issue is, did she do it for you and now she's resentful, so she wants you to look like this other man that she really wanted to be with? And also, why did she come back to you?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I don't have a lot of details. I'd also ask her like what it is about the beard. Is it like, does it feel nicer without the beard, or is it just like an appearance thing? I'm guessing it's appearance if it's
but they've been together for 4 years and he said that he had a beard the entire time before the break. It was after she dated this man that she had a problem with it.
Well, maybe she discovered
the difference.
The smooth, soft skin.
Yeah.
Like a clean shaven man.
Maybe, but at the same time, like, why are you trying to change him for who he is? Like, if he enjoys his beard, like he said he liked it, and she said, why can't you do this for your partner?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of circle back to what I had said earlier. You can make requests of your partner, but you can't tell your partner what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, hey, I really like it when you don't have a beard. Like, I love the how smooth your skin feels, and I like how it feels when I kiss you, and I love seeing those dimples, and your beard just hides them. I love you no matter what, but I'm just letting you know, you without that beard, kind of sexy. And then that lets your partner decide, the girl I'm trying to attract really likes me without a beard. Let me shave it. Or you can decide not to, and then your girlfriend can decide, the beard thing, it's really make or break it for me. And you can exit the relationship. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just like a really big advocate to do not change your partner, make requests of your partner.
Yeah.
And if it's a deal breaker for you, if your partner is not dressing the way, or fixing up their hair or their beard, or dressing in the clothes you want. It's not your job to change them.
Mhm.
You can make a request, but that's about it. I almost think it's cruel to do to someone, because
No, I agree, because then he's gonna be in his head too, and if you guys don't work out, then he's forever gonna be like, "Well, what's wrong with my beard? Like, do I look ugly with it? Is it not attractive?" Even if his
Mhm.
new partner is like, "Oh, I love your beard, like, you should keep it," and stuff, like, it's always
Mhm.
gonna be in the back of his head until he can work through that trauma that she's giving him, and the fact that she also needs to be complimented at least X amount of
Yeah,
times in a
that's a
night,
different. Yeah,
like,
I didn't address
you
that.
that's weird that it ruins the entire night and it's not something that can be let go. It's one thing, it doesn't feel, I'm sorry, but for me, like if my partner wants to compliment me, thank you, I appreciate it. It feels genuine when it comes from them out of a place where they're saying it on their own. But if they
Mhm.
know that they have to do it a certain amount of times for me to enjoy myself, I don't think that feels as genuine and it feels more forced. For me, that
Mhm.
feels like it's not coming from a place of love. It's coming from a weird place for you to just get attention and compliments, and eventually he's going to resent you for that too. Like you guys are going to resent each other for different reasons in this scenario, but like it's just a weird dynamic at this point, and it almost sounds as if maybe you guys were better not being together, and she came back and she was already resentful maybe in some ways too. Again, not knowing the context of what happened with this other man, but like maybe she wanted to be with him and she felt obligated to go back to you because you guys had such a big past. Which, and I'm not saying that like that's the right thing either. She should stand her ground and do what she wants to do, like for herself. But like, it just sounds like it's a little toxic.
It sounds like she has to do a little more work on herself, in the aspect of not needing to seek outside validation to the extent that she is. Like, we all look for external validation. However, it looks like she's taking a little too far. It shouldn't completely. Someone's your partner's um, not complimenting you at least 3 times shouldn't completely throw off your
I
day.
agree.
That means there's probably something deeper going on.
Hmm.
Perhaps a little bit of low self-esteem. And as far as him, you know, stand your ground. I think he needs to do a little work on himself. If he's unhappy, or I really want to know what the scenario is, because I feel like that would have really cleared it up. Like, did he go back begging for her, or
Yeah, yeah. That context felt a little important too.
mhm.
But best of luck to you guys on that one. Don't let someone control you. That's all I gotta say.
I heard my boyfriend, male 26, talking about me, female 22, to his sister, making a list of all of my flaws. I'm so upset. I don't even know what to think. I'll keep this as short as possible. I'm begging for your opinion. Basically, my boyfriend and I have been dating about 5 months. Before him, I was married to a much older man who really did horrible things to me. Oh, I'm really sorry. But my boyfriend now has been really good to me, and I thought he really liked me. I was over at his apartment and I fell asleep pretty early. I woke up around 11 and could hear him on the phone. I heard my name, so I listened. He first said a few nice things about me, said I was smart and pretty and kind, but then started to explain all of my flaws. Here they are, in his almost exact words. The worst one is she's been married before, and the dude hit her, so she's kind of fucked up. She grew up with her older cousin, so she doesn't have family, which sucks because other family members, I don't know, would be judgmental, but that explains the marriage, I guess. She's really naive, like really book smart, but stupid smart. Is that even a saying? I literally couldn't stop the tears. Like, literally imagine the worst things that you already think about yourself and then put them in your partner's words. I'm so hurt. I'm also so conflicted. I don't know whether this man was him placing blame or judgment on me, or honestly just stating what he thinks. Would you forgive your partner if he said these things?
So sad.
It really is.
Like, that's just, I'm so sorry for you that you had to hear that. Like, it's one thing, like you said, to like think those things about yourself, but to hear your partner and the person that you love after coming from an abusive relationship say bad things about you, like that's like rubbing salt in a wound, and that just overall really sucks, and I'm so sorry. Like,
Honestly, I would leave. Um, Here's why. Perhaps if you want to have a conversation, or go to couples therapy, like that's an avenue you can try. Um, I don't know how long have they been together? It's just like if someone feels this way about you that you
5 months.
came from an abusive relation 5 months, leave. You know, we don't have to you don't have to work this hard. There's going to be someone out there. Don't let him confirm the negative thoughts that you're experiencing about yourself. Find someone who's going to rewrite that story you keep telling yourself, because the honest truth is anyone can find themselves in an abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it happens slowly, and one it's not something like it happens immediately when you first join into a relationship. It is a very slow burn. 7 years go by and suddenly you find yourself in a position you could have never imagined. And it literally does start off with little words just like this, where it breaks down and feeds your insecurities.
Yeah.
Um and takes the little joys away from you. So for me, it's a huge red flag that if his mindset is in this manner, that's not your person.
Honestly, for me, like I when I'm with someone, I think the world of them, and I have never once been like gotten to that place to think such bad things about somebody. And if I have, then it's time to go. And it's only been 5 months. Like, somebody will love you. Somebody will love all of those different little parts of you that you feel that are broken and misunderstood. Someone will take the time to understand you. Somebody will take the time to fix those wounds with you, not for you, with you. And somebody will love every little piece of you, and you won't even know what it's like to not have somebody love you. Like, that's what you deserve. And at the end of the day, like, dealing with what you're dealing with now after hearing that, like, I could never imagine letting that go. It's always going to be in the back of my head. Like, I will always hear my partner saying those bad things about me, no matter what, no matter how many times I move by it. I will probably have nightmares about it, like bad dreams, like anxiety. Like, it's just like it's gonna go down a rabbit hole that you're not gonna be able to get your head out of, and it's gonna mentally ruin you. Like, you thought your last relationship was abusive physically and everything. This one is gonna ruin you mentally from the sounds of it. And he's probably gonna gaslight you. Like, if he hasn't talked to you about these things and he has such a big problem with it, and you've been thinking that things are so wonderful, he's been dishonest with you.
And OP, I want to like please say, please go to therapy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, if you experienced abuse, you may find yourself easily in another abusive relationship. Because one thing I have noticed, like when you follow this pattern, is you start accepting behaviors that typically you shouldn't. And when you and these little behaviors is what you need to learn to look out for, in order to not find yourself in this scenario again.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put any kind of blame or anything. Like, please, I just want to make sure that this isn't a cycle that keeps repeating, because the red flags are getting like completely missed.
Yeah. I also think that, like you said, to like go off of that too, like, even when we're younger, and we get older, we tend to go to trauma that comforts us.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're saying,
that's familiar.
Yeah, we like
to
the
us.
familiar trauma because it's our bodies learn to enjoy the chaos, which is not a good thing, which is why you need therapy. So go to therapy, love yourself, take care of yourself. I would probably leave, honestly. Like I wouldn't want to stay in that situation.
I wouldn't want to be in that scenario at all. And don't ever let anyone question your own intelligence.
Also that, yes. You're probably very smart in all aspects of life.